Hey guys, before we get started, if you want more content from We Studios, check out weepodcast.com. That's weepodcast.com. We just rebranded with a new corporate logo, so go check that out at weepodcast.com. Oh, we're very corporate now, Jack.
Yeah, we're OCP.
Absolutely. We're going to clean Detroit up. We're going to do it right. And we have a
That
new...
was our number. That was the goal of We Studios from the get-go. You guys don't realize.
To take over Detroit.
Take over Detroit
Absolutely.
via Simpsons and then 90s nostalgia.
Yep. And while we're doing that, if you want to follow We Studios Pod on Twitter, that's our third Twitter account. You can still follow at 90s Percentile, but all of our major announcements will be on that one.
Yeah, and if you want to support the show a little bit more directly, you can always buy things on Amazon.com through our website, or just use the link wepodcast.amazon.com.
Nope.
Fuck.
Amazon.wepodcast.com. The other one will not work. Let's start the show. 60 minutes are on the clock, and straight out of We Studios, this is 90s Percentile. My name is Dan.
My name is Jack, and we're talking everything 90s and maybe also everything before and after.
And we are joined in studio with a guest, a new guest, someone who's not been on the show before, a brand new guest.
Literally was born yesterday.
Billy Hiller is here. How you doing, Billy?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Hey, Billy. You are part of the... I guess this is one day we're going to release a DVD of our Karate Tortoise episodes with
hashtag Team Tortoise.
A narrator, Mike Walls, and producers Annie Chang, and of course Mike Diaz, who is your partner. You guys founded Spook Horse together, right?
Yeah, it's just been a collaborative effort of just everybody that you actually mentioned coming together and creating what we're doing right now.
Awesome.
What are
Karate
you
Tortoise.
doing? Yeah, what are you? So Karate Tortoise. So actually,
some listeners may know, but for the new ones, every episode somebody's first.
For the new ones, we have a web series called Karate Tortoise, which is about an anthropomorphic tortoise superhero with their damsel friend fighting silly villains for pizza. That's basically what it is.
That's awesome. So you guys are raising some money because it's going to be an entire series or several episodes, right?
Correct. Yes.
And the campaign to raise the money is ending very soon.
It is ending Thursday night, 11:59 p.m. Thursday, October 13th. Our goal is $30,000. So far, we're just above $26,000 as of this moment,
which is amazing.
Yeah,
that's a huge accomplishment.
You have to hit 80% to get any money.
We do have to hit 80%.
So that was really scary because your deadline was at like midnight a couple days ago, and you still were a few $1,000s short.
Yes,
it looked like all that work was going to be for nothing. That must have been a lot of fun.
Yeah, we were all on the edge of our seats waiting for it to happen. It just happened actually last night, and we're super gracious of every supporter that we've had contributing any sort of amount of money that they can. Even following the campaign is powerful in making this thing happen.
Well, this is probably the most entertaining campaign I've ever seen.
Thank you.
Because you guys literally do a live show every night on Facebook Live. It's kind of like Jerry's Kids.
Yeah.
And those shows themselves are really fun to watch, even if you don't know what Karate Tortoise is or haven't given any money. So you should definitely check those out at the Spook Tortoise Facebook page. You had us on.
Yeah, certain 90s Percentile hosts were on. Yeah.
I ate a cricket. You've eaten lots of
I've eaten
bugs,
a lot of bugs.
Worms,
yes. Yeah.
crickets. People basically, what you do is you accept donations. People will pay you.
Absolutely.
Like they'll comment on the Facebook stream and be like, I'll give you $15 to eat a cricket. And you eat the cricket.
And then we eat it, yeah. And sometimes our guests are brave enough to actually say, you know what? I'll do it for $15 too. And they do too. It's like you come on the show, you eat a bug, you show us some love. It's great.
There you go.
What was the song again?
Come on the show and eat a bug. Show us some love and eat a bug.
I love it. That's amazing.
It's very catchy.
I like it because it explains the concept of eating the bug for money.
Unlike our theme song,
Yeah.
which it was literally the same exact words, but it means no sense.
But it doesn't make any sense.
We don't eat bugs.
We're talking about the 90s. There's no bugs involved.
Yeah, no, so definitely check out Tortoise Talk Live. We'll talk about that more at the end.
Yeah, and everything so far, it seems like running a crowdfunding campaign like this, very relaxing experiences is what it seems like from an outside perspective.
Oh, yeah, it's super relaxing. Yeah, we're all just like hanging out on hammocks. It's great.
Yeah, just like watching that money roll in without having to do a single thing.
No, it's been quite a wild ride. Just like even the very first 100 coming in, it was when we pushed go. We're just watching it going, I I hope it works.
Yeah, right. Because you have no idea what's going to happen.
We
So,
can't wait to
it's
see it
amazing.
because we're also big Gilbert Gottfried fans. So.
Yes, that's
Absolutely.
another huge thing is Gilbert Gottfried is going to be in it, which
Yeah,
is just
that's
so
amazing.
exciting that we're actually going to be able to work with him. It's such a game changer. It's great.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now he's playing the bad guy, right?
Yes,
Rat Bastard, I
he will be
believe.
playing Rat Bastard.
Amazing. Like, who doesn't want to see that?
I
Nobody.
was kind of hoping he was just going to reprise his role as the principal from Problem Child. Like, I don't know, Karate Tortoise,
Or
maybe his kids
Yago.
are going to school. Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be amazing if Karate Tortoise took place in the Problem Child universe. Just somewhere off screen, he was mutated into some kind of rat monster.
It's like Luke Cage and Jessica
That's right.
Jones.
They're gonna
They
come
all-
These
together.
are great ideas for season 2.
All right, well, you know who to call.
Yeah, absolutely. You call the Ghostbusters. Is that not what we're doing? Okay.
No. So, like we mentioned, one of your co-producers is Annie Chang,
Yes.
who we've had on the show, and she brought cupcakes last time.
She did.
And she's one of the only guests who actually have brought us food.
Yeah.
And I think you're trying. It looks like you're trying to one up her.
I kind of am. I mean, like, it's really hard to one up Annie Chang, but I mean, I tried.
So you brought cannolis. We haven't opened the box yet. It's
I
not
did.
crickets, is
It's
it?
true. You said it was cannolis.
man,
It
they're
could be
made of-
anything.
They're made of cricket milk, so I mean, I don't know.
How do they milk the crickets?
With very tiny hands, Jack. You can milk anything.
I've got nipples, Fogger. Can you milk me? Best line of the movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so we're gonna unbox it here, and we're gonna do the Annie Chang tradition and
Sure,
eat
and
food
eat
on
live
the podcast.
on the air.
There it
also.
is.
I can say,
Oh,
oh,
wow.
wow, they look amazing.
That is a collection of cannolis with multiple creams, and we got a chocolate covered one. Oh my goodness!
you got chocolate, you got vanilla, you got chocolate with vanilla, and look at this. I've never seen this before.
I know it's a
A
dual.
chocolate vanilla
Ooh,
cannoli.
I think I'm
Yeah.
gonna have that one. But very cool. So thanks so much, Billy, for doing that.
No problem.
And,
I give all my guests whenever they come out of the show, I give them a cannoli, and I realized when you guys left, I had cannolis in the fridge, and I thought, no, I forgot to give them a cannoli.
Well, you forgot to give us cannolis after the show, and you wouldn't talk to us before the show. That was actually when we had met Billy. We had never met Billy before.
Yeah.
And we were in the green room of your Tortoise Talk studio.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, this is Dan. And you were like, don't talk to me.
No, we can't talk. We're gonna be on the air. It's like, okay.
Which we should be making fun of you because we do the exact same thing to our guests. We're like, save it for
Right. Yeah,
save it
yeah.
for the show.
Save this
It has to
gold.
be spontaneous.
I just felt like I haven't even met you guys yet. I haven't even said a word except hello, and I was like, it would be so great if I actually met you on air.
Nothing is better video than awkward introductions.
I'm like, hey, want to eat a cricket?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely. That's how you meet people nowadays. Instead of Tinder, you just go on Insector and just, hey, will you eat a cricket for me? Oh my God.
Swipe right is what crickets do to make the cricket sound.
That's it. Yeah. Yep. That's,
Insert cricket sound here for that.
There you
for
go.
that cricket joke.
Constantly swiping to make the cricket sound.
Exactly. That's
Absolutely.
they rub their legs.
someone will make that app now. Insector.
All
right, guys.
Let's eat these cannolis and then start
Let's eat
talking
some cannolis.
90s.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm definitely taking a chocolate vanilla.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
also going to take a chocolate vanilla.
And this is great because the last 2 times I've eaten on camera was the cricket and the bologna sandwich on our show.
Yeah.
And both of those times I gagged horribly. This I'm not
This
going
you
to gag.
should be able to down, I would
I mean,
imagine.
if I tried to swallow
As an
it
Italian
whole,
man.
I have, like I said, I have a strong gag reflex. So if I literally tried to deep throat this cannoli, I would gag.
All right, I think the listeners want to hear it. I want to see it. No,
All right,
maybe
here
they
we
don't.
go.
No, you don't actually have to do it. Oh God, it was every bit as gross as it sounded. Everyone.
But there might be a cricket in the middle.
Oh no. Well, maybe I'll save this for later then.
It totally worked out so good. Are you not going to eat one?
Oh,
Eat one?
I will have a cannoli, yes. Thank you.
Take the gun, leave the cannoli.
Absolutely.
Wait, no. Take the cannoli, leave the gun. Yeah.
Leave the gun. Take the cannoli.
Yeah, all sorts of back.
I'm impressed with you because don't you not like eating in front of people? Isn't that your thing?
I only like eating in front of people I just met.
That's why he put up the privacy shield between him and I, because we've been friends for almost 2 decades
Oh,
now.
yeah, no.
Never seen him eat.
Never, not once.
Except
All right,
that
guys.
first day we met.
That was it. That's how we met. You were eating a bug on the side of the of our high school gym, and I said, "That boy is crazy."
I said, "Oh, these bugs are delicious. Nice to meet you.
And that was it.
We should do a podcast together."
And 16 years later, that's what happened.
Oh my god, these cannolis are amazing.
These are really, really good.
I
I'm
might
not-
start eating more throughout the show.
honestly, I'm not a huge cannoli fan, but this is delicious.
Awesome.
I had a cannoli bagel once, There's this
Jack, that sounds crazy.
There was this so there's this bagel shop. I think it's still there. It might not have survived. No, it did survive Sandy. Anyway, there was this bagel store by where I grew up, and they had like novelty bagels, and they had a cannoli bagel where the bagel was half bagel, half cannoli crust, and instead of butter or cream cheese, it's cannoli cream.
That sounds amazing.
Oh, it was.
That does sound pretty good.
It did not taste good with bacon and eggs on it.
No, I would imagine not. Oh, man. All right, so we're almost 10 minutes fully into the show, and we haven't even gotten to one topic.
Is that bad?
No, that's totally fine.
Billy, you
we went
fucked up. We've done 37 episodes with this format just killing it, and you've just derailed the entire operation.
Oh, man.
Oh, Lord.
Mike is going to be so
I
disappointed.
know.
in you.
People are going to withdraw their money from Karate Tortoise now.
I want to see your red construction paper thermometer suddenly magically go down.
This is for 90s Percentile, you fuck. I don't know who's...
You took too long to make a 90s topic. I'm going to go watch Kung Fu Frogs instead.
Actually, before we even get to our topic, let's waste more time on before we get to the topics. We said, or you and I had said really briefly, Jack, I was at Comic-Con this weekend, New York Comic-Con.
Yeah.
And apparently Billy was too. So I just want to really briefly talk about this.
Yeah, we should definitely bring this up.
Yeah, so I was at Comic-Con Friday night through today, which we're recording this literally the day before it comes out. It's Sunday right now. And it was crazy. If you've never been to New York Comic-Con, it is an experience.
Yeah, I had a pass to go. I could have gone. I could have had a nice pro pass because my school was there.
Yeah.
But as much as I love comics, I don't know. Just the thought of like walking around a crowded place.
So that's kind of what I've come to realize is now that I'm in my 30s, I kind of if I go to Comic-Con at all next year, I'm going to go one day and that's it because it's a lot.
Yeah, it's too much work. It's like
there's so many children and they're all dressed up as characters you don't even know who they are.
What is this a Digimon? What is this?
Was it actually crowded inside?
Yeah, it was packed inside.
Okay.
Like today, you could barely move in certain parts of the floor. It's just nuts.
I feel like the cons just outweigh the pros.
Yeah.
There's
the cons of the con.
There's the season premiere of last season's Portlandia was about how if you're over 30 or over 40, like music festivals just aren't fun anymore.
Sure.
And I feel like for us who are not super into music but are huge comic book nerds, it's the same concept.
You know, we're pretty much a nostalgia podcast, so I would just say there's lots of younger people at these Comic-Cons. I sound so old. I sound so old. There's so many younger people.
I'm surprised that it's
because a lot of anime fans, a lot of gaming fans, like a lot of people who may not even read comics are at the Comic-Con.
Right.
But there's also all of these older men who are comic book fans and like collectors, and they're like just walking around and it's just like these fucking kids. I can't get by because there's so many people. Like cosplay has become such a huge thing there. I saw like a giant Voltron costume. I saw this weird mashup of Ronald McDonald and Thor.
Do you think that's amazing?
It was pretty amazing.
I
It's
love
frightening.
those mashups because the
mashups are cool.
The idea of just dressing up, it's fine.
I saw a circle of 12 Deadpools singing and dancing
That's
together.
amazing.
It's all part of the Comic-Con, though.
It's all part of the
Like
experience.
to me, that's a really cool idea. I mean, I like playing dress up. I like going to medieval times and stuff. But I love the creativity of the original mashups and stuff like that.
It is. It's amazing. But they are walking on the same floor as you are, and they stop every 5 feet because people are like, "Can I get a picture? Can I take a picture?"
But that's what I want to bring up is
So it's tough.
This is the same. Is this the same Comic-Con me and you went to
It
in
is
2003?
not. No, this is a
that
different
was a
one.
much more staid affair.
Yes.
But what I want to say is, all right. So you've gone to these Comic-Cons before.
Yeah,
I've
I've gone every year to New York Comic Con since it started.
A, has it gotten more crowded gradually, and B, has that and the bigger, more elaborate cosplays. Do you think that's a direct result of the fact that now you can show it on social and brag and show off?
I definitely think it is because people are like, "That's me in that Voltron costume."
It's almost like an opportunity to go in there and making an awesome costume and making a statement itself, being like, how long does it take you to make this? And then maybe even getting a contact out of it.
Because 10 years ago, you could have put the exact same amount of effort into that costume, but nobody outside of the hall would have seen it, right?
Well, and yeah, absolutely. And the thing with social media is like there are professional cosplayers now.
Really?
Like there's people who just do this full
I want
time.
that job.
Like they have a whole area in New York Comic Con where it's where all the entertainment guests sign autographs and you do like the pictures or whatever. Like Alan Tudyk was there from Firefly, and Joffrey from Game of Thrones was there. Real A+ talent, even though I like both of them very much. But they had like some cosplayers in the same area, and it's just like, Who's paying to take a picture with like someone who just dresses up as other people?
It's
for
funny
a living?
though because that exact reason is why I dressed up in the Karate Tortoise mascot outfit.
Sure.
Yeah, so you were at Comic-Con,
Yeah.
but nobody would have recognized you because you were in
Right.
a turtle costume the entire time.
Exactly. It was the mascot. I mean, the series itself is going to have a lot of prosthetics, makeup, and all, but like this costume that we have is basically our mascot that we bring out.
Yeah, it looks like the Times Square mascot version of the actual Karate Tortoise you see in the
That's exactly
show.
what it looks
Yeah.
like. And so all we were doing was dancing and screaming outside Comic-Con. We didn't actually go inside.
Sure.
We were just hanging out outside with the train of people going from the street into the con.
Yep.
And we were screaming, Karate Tortoise, Karate Tortoise, had this big sign that said hashtag Karate Tortoise. And people would actually see the Karate Tortoise dancing around, which was me.
I like that you refer to yourself in third person when you are Karate Tortoise.
He's a character, obviously.
It's like Bruce Wayne in the Batman.
Yeah.
And they would point to me and say, "Oh, Karate Tortoise!" Like they knew Karate Tortoise, and like we all got nervous. Like, wait,
That's
wait.
awesome.
Is there a Karate Tortoise already out there?
Oh, it's huge in Japan. Yeah. Huge in Japan.
Yeah.
But they totally got it, and they wanted pictures, and like with all these people are starting to hashtag it, and that was like
That's
a perfect
awesome.
That's
place
awesome.
to do it.
That's
you should
so
have
cool,
had,
dude.
You should have had like an iPhone and a credit card swipe reader.
Yeah, really.
Well,
We'll
we
take
did
your
go
money
out there
right now.
with actually like a pen and paper and telling them like what we were doing and why we were doing it, and getting their emails to like get our followers up because we needed 1,000 followers in order to like be a part of this campaign.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone was so willing, and like they were just like, yeah, that we totally understand what you're doing. It was
Wow.
great.
Yeah,
That's
and
awesome.
if to our listeners, if you really just can't give a dime for this, you definitely at least follow Karate Tortoise, follow
Yeah.
Billy on Spook Tortoise on Seed and Spark, because that does help too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I've never told Mike this. I've been keeping little Karate Tortoise flyers that he gave me in front
Awesome.
of my desk, so that any film students going
Thanks,
by
man.
grab it.
Yeah.
And I love seeing the looks of everybody because I sit in front of the elevator, so they're like waiting for the elevator, and they see the Karate Tortoise, and they all make the exact same kind of like scrunched. What is this face? Like Karate Tortoise and
Tortoise, I don't know karate.
And they all make that face, and then they make either one of two follow-up faces, which, this seems interesting, I'll take this, or, thanks, but no thanks.
And then they ask you for the Wi-Fi password, right?
Exactly.
Nice. All right, now we've gone a full 15 plus minutes.
All right,
into
we're going
these
into
episodes. So,
we're going into Lord.
we're going into Lord Matthew Waite territory. So we don't want that to happen. So Billy,
okay.
No offense.
no offense, Lord Matthew Waite, we like you a lot. That was a great episode.
But we gotta get on the fucking
Okay.
numbers.
But we got to get our shit together.
Yeah.
We only got 43 seconds
Well, we
and
still
some
have
change.
9 cannolis
Yeah,
left
we-
too, so
All
maybe,
right.
maybe we should hold off.
That's our new measure of how long the podcast is.
We eat all the
Cannolis
cannolis
eaten.
first, then
Yeah.
we do the 90s.
Okay, done. All right.
Cannoli percentile. 12 cannolis are in the box, and this
It's cannoli percentile.
we'll see you in another bakery.
Oh, man. What have we begun? All right. Billy, as our guest, it is your right to choose our first 90s topics. So you don't have to. You can always go to the random topic
Right.
generator where listeners submit topics from WePodcast.com.
Or you
but
could say, fuck those listeners, I got my own
absolutely.
topic.
Hey, yo, I'm in New York. I'm the Karate Tortoise. I can do what I want.
I'm eating cannolis.
Hey, that's all right. I'm in Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
That's what we all call it, I thought. Brooklyn.
It's like that Nutty Professor saying, Brooklyn.
That's exactly it. Billy,
Exactly. That's my cosplay mashup.
That's
right
great.
there.
That's really good.
Your weird Brooklyn pronunciation and the hit Eddie Murphy movie Nutty Professor.
too many years ago.
I'm gonna turn that into a costume somehow and go to Comic-Con.
Believe it or
Totally
not,
should.
I've never seen Nutty Professor cosplay. I know that, you know what? I would like to. I think someone
I would
could do the
it,
clumps.
but I feel like the
Well,
blackface
the
would be
blackface might be
immediate,
bad.
like an immediate disqualifier.
Yeah, I think so.
I guess I could do white
They
Nutty
just-
Professor.
you're like trying to walk in and they're just like, no, you're disqualified from entering the Comic Con.
Sorry, sir.
Sorry, sir, and it is not
Unless
1940
Trump is
anymore.
president, then they'll be right this way, sir.
Well, we are recording this right before the debates Sunday
Yeah.
night, so
Ooh.
who knows what happened?
Yeah.
You guys do if you're listening to this, but
Trump killed Hillary and just took the throne right away.
drank her blood live on stage.
Which if you read the Constitution, you know that is a loophole. You immediately
It
become
is.
president.
That's exactly right. It's the 37th Amendment, I believe.
Yep, that's it.
It's right in there with Congress gets a pay raise.
Anyway, I know somebody's gonna say this in the comments, so yes, I know there actually is a white Nutty Professor, Jerry Lewis. But,
Yes, right.
But
That's what they called
defeats
it.
the purpose of the
It was
the
White
bit.
Nutty Professor when he did his movie. And Eddie Murphy was like, this is the perfect thing to capitalize on.
I think that all IP from the get-go should just have white in front of it,
think you're absolutely
assuming that
right.
eventually it's going to be rebooted by a well-known black celebrity.
Yeah,
So
I
like
agree.
Magnificent Seven should have been the white Magnificent Seven.
Right.
And then that way you don't have to call the Denzel Washington one the black, because that's
well, it's
awkward. You don't want to call it the black Magnificent.
Magnificent black guy and 6 magnificent white guys.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
much easier to just call it the white Magnificent Seven.
Right.
You know what you got. Anything else after that is just...
Some people really like to know the races of everything
That's all
in
I'm
their
asking.
media before they go in.
I just want... Like,
Most of them are on Twitter and they're very
do
vocal.
we really need to know who the associate producer is on the poster? No, I
Right.
just want to know the races of the main characters.
Right.
Man, I haven't seen Nutty Professor in a long time.
Spoiler
Well,
alert,
that's our
they're all black. The clumps are black.
Oh boy. I don't know. There's something about the clumps are black. It just made me feel uncomfortable, and I don't like it. All right, Billy.
I said this morning.
So Billy,
It's a poop joke.
you do have a topic.
Yeah,
it sounds
it's,
like. Okay, great.
Nutty Professor. No, I'm just kidding.
It's white Nutty Professor.
It's actually 90s toys.
90s toys. Oh, my god.
Goodness.
Now, I did a little research because I was afraid that maybe you had already talked about it. I've listened to several of your shows, but I went through and I'm like, I don't think they've hit a lot of these yet.
Yeah, we've done some specific stuff like Ninja Turtles
We have,
action
right.
figures.
Yeah, I saw
and
that.
Crossfire. What broadly do you have in mind?
Just toys
What
in
did,
general.
what did we play with as kids?
Well,
Exactly.
Besides
Yeah.
our
So, like, the
dinglings?
first thing I
Of course.
had on my list is Pogs.
Wow.
Pogs, iconic 90s
Yeah.
topic. Yeah.
You guys remember playing them at the bus stop?
I loved Pogs. Pogs were weird. Like, were Pogs actually fun? Because like, if you're too young to remember Pogs, or you've somehow forgotten them,
No.
it was like
It stands for papaya, orange, guava.
it did stand for papaya, orange, guava for real.
Did it really?
It
Yeah.
did, yeah. Because
What?
it originated in Hawaii. It was like a game. It was the cardboard stoppers on milk cartons that
Right.
were delivered by the papaya, orange, guava company in Hawaii or something like that.
Wow, I had
Kids
no
were
idea.
playing with them. And it just took the nation by storm somehow.
It just came and went.
Not
and it
since
was-
Don
yeah.
Ho has a Hawaiian thing taken the nation by storm. Yeah, and it was they'd have all these different. The Pogs would have art on them. Like I had like Spider-Man Pogs,
Yeah.
but there were lots of ones that had 8 balls and skulls. I
Eight-
remember
eight-
really
eight
popular.
balls, yin yangs,
Yeah.
and skulls were, I would say, the big three.
Did you
Definitely.
have the bomber that you actually could look through the hole and like aim and fire?
No.
I did
Oh,
not have
man.
that.
So
I
you're
had that.
talking about the slammer. So a
Oh, that's the
slammer
slammer,
is
yeah,
different
yeah.
from the pogs. The
Exactly,
slammer
yeah.
is what you use to hit the pogs with.
Right. So
Flip the stack.
Right. So you would have a stack of Pogs. You'd play competitively with friends, and you'd hit a slammer, which was just this big piece of metal.
Yeah.
You'd smash it down, and then whatever Pogs flipped over, you got.
Yeah, you
I-
get to keep them too.
Yeah,
right?
and
So you
you-
can steal people's Pogs.
Right. It was a big thing. Are you playing for keeps, or are you playing like for not
Yeah.
keeps? I guess.
Yeah. For what's the opposite of keep?
for sport.
For
for
giveaways?
socialism.
You were playing for socialism. Yeah, and just in case you really don't know what we're talking about for our younger audience, because he really was like huge for two
was-
2 years tops. and
maybe
then
not
this-
even, yeah.
Came and went. It's picture poker chips. It was like a stack of poker chips, and you have a
Right.
thicker poker chip that's made out of plastic or metal. The stack is made out of cardboard, and then you literally slam it down with the vertically into the top of the stack to flip them over, and whatever
Yeah.
flipped over, you got to keep.
Right.
Right. And I had some cool slammers. I had a Carnage slammer, like from the Spider-Man
That's
character.
awesome.
That was pretty cool. And then I had 2 of these slammers that were like an inch thick.
Yeah.
Like they were huge.
Yeah.
Like
Like the 8-ball one.
yeah, and like as a child, I shouldn't be having like a projectile that's this heavy and made of metal.
Yeah, no, my slammer, my big slammer was also about an inch thick. It was metal.
Yeah.
It had 2 indents on
Yeah,
the top
yeah,
for
for
your
your
fingers.
fingers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, like a grip. But and I remember, I think I paid like $10 for it. My mom was like, "Are you seriously? Like, I don't want to spend $10 on one thing." And I was just,
Yeah.
Anyway, I used it, and it was terrible because all it did was either bend or crush the
Yeah,
puck.
it was- exactly.
It broke the
Ruined the
pucks.
pucks.
It was like it's like the equivalent of like Tim Allen on Home Improvement, like having a powered golf club and then hitting
Yeah,
the
that's a
golf
good
ball,
Tim Allen.
and then
Thank
the
you.
golf ball just explodes, and then he goes, and
Absolutely.
then Al's just like, "I don't think so, Tim."
Yeah.
Like that's what it was with your Pogs. It was,
Yeah.
it was too much power.
It's so funny you say
definitely.
Tim Allen because like we were actually all participating in this Tim Allen contest in my apartment of who could do the better Tim Allen.
Really?
What is it? You say this as if
so
it's
good.
Thank you.
You say this as if it's like an ongoing contest.
is.
How does
It
it
has
last longer
been.
than 30 seconds?
It's been going on for like a week now, and
That's
like
amazing.
one of my new roommates has never like seen the show.
So this is somebody you just
Okay.
met,
in fact,
who's
you know what?
also
No,
joined
no.
the contest.
Annie has never seen the show.
Never seen Home Improvement.
So
Wow.
she has no idea or context of the.
Yeah.
Oh no!
So I played
don't think so,
for
Tim.
like 10 minutes or 5 minutes straight a YouTube clip of like every or
Oh, I love that. I love that.
and it's out of context. It's like what's going on. She even
Yeah.
goes, did they have animals in this show? It's so
Well,
weird.
if you watch
That's
like a Tim
amazing.
Allen's like 80s stand-up, that was part of his thing. It was just
Right, like that was-
the idea is, men
Men
at
like
their
more
base
power.
are just they're cavemen.
Right,
So that's
right.
where it
Yeah.
came from.
It originated from a caveman going ugh.
Right. So it
Yeah.
came from his stand up is why he
Yeah.
does that, right?
Yeah.
Going back to the pog thing, like
Sure.
I had a 8-ball 1-inch thick plastic piece that also like smelled like blueberry. That's what like sold
Interesting.
people on it.
Okay.
It was like a smelly
Smelly pog. I don't remember
slammer.
those. I didn't have one of
You
those.
could like
So-
leave your mark on the
Yeah,
pogs that
so-
you hit.
Yeah.
So I had this long tube of it was like 4 feet long that
Yeah,
would
I
store
remember
all
those.
my
Yep.
pogs in it.
Yeah, so
And
yeah,
I would put
the tubes are
yeah.
what you store. Literally, you would go around carrying these like lightsaber-looking things,
like a poster tube
Yeah.
kind
yeah,
of thing.
single
Yeah.
file.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so like I would have like that pog or that slammer on the top, and my whole tube smelled like blueberry. It was so cool.
That's awesome. All right, so before we continue our POG talk, I do have to play a little bit of this 15-minute video. It's every grunt from Home Improvement. It has 770,794 views.
662 total
Here we go.
grunts.
Yeah, 94 of these views are probably mine because I just love this thing. The only thing I think I like better is a mashup YouTube video of all the Mr. Building. Hey, 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 what is going
Oh
on
my
here?
God.
That's
Okay.
amazing. But
Okay.
here's some grunts for you.
Let's hear some.
So,
Out of context, it seems like he's some sort of unfrozen caveman.
I bet you if you were if you somebody listening who has majored in linguistics, I bet you
Sure.
there's like a full language there where you can pretty much convey all range of ideas and emotions.
I mean, he's
through
basically
grunts.
a Wookiee at that point.
funny.
Jill can understand him as the
Exactly,
Han
yeah,
Solo of
exactly.
their pair.
For my brother's bachelor party, we flew to Colorado, and it was like a big round table of maybe like 12 guys all like playing cards and stuff, and somehow this conversation came up and it went around the table, just everyone doing their own impression. And
Nice.
everyone has like their impression.
They're
of
fun.
it.
It's fun to
Yeah,
do.
it's
It
fun to
really
do.
is.
Nah, I'm bad at it, but so I don't.
Jack,
do
Jack,
too
let's
much.
hear it.
Let's
We got to
hear
hear
it.
you, Tim
Let's hear
Allen
it.
grunt.
Oh,
Oh, that was
That's
bad.
pretty good. That's pretty good. I liked it. I don't know.
that's as manly as I get. More power.
Oh man. Going back to Pogs real quick. One thing I always wanted and I never got was I remember looking in remember when you were a kid? Maybe this was just me, but I think a lot of people did this. You'd look through like the Sears catalog for like Christmas presents.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like just circle like the
so.
things like, oh, I want this.
You stumble upon the underwear section.
Oh boy.
Just like,
Sorry.
oh no, look what page opened up.
Oh yeah.
I gotta go in my room now for a little while and play with my Pogs.
I'm leaving this video open the rest of the episode.
this is gonna pay dividends. But the one thing I always wanted and I never got.
That one was a mistake. That wasn't my idea of comic timing.
Okay, good. One thing I always wanted but I never got was they had like a make your own Pog thing.
Oh yeah, I had
Where you
that.
remember that?
You
Yeah.
had that?
I had
oh,
that,
Man.
yeah.
You could put like any piece of paper in it, would make it into
Or
a
you can
Pog.
put your photo on it. I had
Yeah, yeah.
I had myself as a pog.
Man, that's
And
awesome.
when people would actually like win and steal my pog, they would have my face in their pog
Right, they'll
selection.
never forget me. They'll never forget the time they went up against Billy.
I would put pictures of my opponents, like elderly grandmothers on there, so like that had died already. So it
Slam it. You gotta slam it. That's the top
You gotta
Pog.
slam your dead grandma if you want these.
But it was
Pogs.
actually made with the original photo of the grandma, so
Yeah,
it wasn't
exactly,
like a reproduction. Yeah, so it was,
No, you took all of their photos.
I took some of the ashes from the urn and
Oh,
sprinkled
man.
them into the Pog. Yeah,
that
brutal.
became a big thing towards the end of the Pog craze.
Yeah.
Like, put your relatives in a
that's why it
Pog.
ended, right?
Yeah, everyone was like, this has gone too far.
This has gone too.
Hawaii, this is a little too weird
Papaya
for
orange
mainstream
guava,
America.
it's too
I
much.
still keep my grandpa in Pog form on the mantle.
Oh, your grandpa's back in pog form. Okay, good.
He's
That's amazing.
Pog form, yeah.
Awesome.
man.
Yeah, what are other like big toys from the 90s? Like
Okay.
pogs are a big one.
Do you guys remember Mighty Max? A lot of people don't
Of course,
remember.
Mighty Max,
Really?
Mighty Max.
Yeah.
Do you remember Mighty Max?
Doomstone
Of
course.
Danger, Mighty Max and stuff. I don't know the actual words.
You knew a lot more than I knew, though.
I didn't even know that had a song.
I remember Mighty Max, Mighty Max.
Mighty Max. Yeah, so Polly Pocket came first.
I think so,
Polly
yeah.
Pocket came first, and so one year I wanted Mighty Max because the commercials just like always stood out to you in the 90s, right?
Sure.
You're watching Nickelodeon, and you see the commercials for the toys, and you're like, "That's what I want for Christmas."
Yeah, this is
All right,
going to
let's
change
explain
everything.
what this is again
Yes.
for those who don't know. So Polly Pocket is literally a pocket-sized dollhouse. It's like a
Right.
makeup case that if you
Like a little
open it
play
up,
set,
yeah,
yeah.
it has a full dollhouse in there with little action figures.
Yeah.
So then they made one for boys where they were various haunted houses and
Right.
labs and
I
spaceships.
had one that was a shark. It was a shark's face, and you opened it up, and it was like you're inside the shark.
That's
and
pretty
like,
cool.
You're jumping on his rib cage and stuff. It was pretty cool.
They liked a lot of the rib cages because
Yeah.
the
'Cause
it's
a lot of them were
conducive to the
monsters.
design. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had an alien, and there was an alien face, and you would open it up, and you could also be on the
Yeah.
ridges. There also was a rip off. Star Wars ripped them off with Micro Machines.
Oh, yeah, Micro
And I
Machines
actually
were
had
my
a Darth
favorite.
Vader that opened up, and it was the Empire
Oh, nice.
Strikes Back. Where right before Luke gets his hand cut off,
Sure.
like that
Yeah.
window.
Spoilers.
they go through.
Right.
The carbon chamber. I guess
Right.
it is.
Yeah, sure, okay.
So I had that, but my first Mighty Max was
Carbonite, by the way.
Carbonite. My first Mighty Max was a skull with a big yellow eyeball.
I
And
think
if
I
you-
remember that one.
And if you opened it up, it was like a Frankenstein lab. It even came with a Frankenstein action figure. And the eyeball was a giant plastic eyeball with tentacles that was like a monster.
Oh, that's
it was
awesome. That's
yeah.
real cool.
That was the gift that I actually got for Christmas.
Yeah.
And I opened it up for Christmas and I looked at it and I was like, okay, great. I got a Mighty Max. And I opened up the rest of the presents and then my parents were like, so how did it go? Like, what was your favorite gift? And I just started crying. And I was like, I got this Mighty Max, but it's actually like a Polly Pocket. And I did not want Mighty Max. I was like, I don't want the Mighty Max. And they were like, no, it's okay. We can return it. And I was really confused because I was like, what do you mean you can return Santa's gift?
yeah,
No.
Santa
You
has
know,
a gift
like
exchange
that was the
program?
first time I was like, I don't.
Wait
a minute.
Yeah.
I was told growing up, because every once in a while I'd find a price tag or something on my Christmas presents.
Yeah.
I was told that elves don't really make the toys anymore because, they would make like wooden trains and stuff, which I had.
Santa was too busy.
But like the more complicated, he's not going to make a Power Ranger. So I was told that Santa would go to Kmart and buy the toys. And
Can you just imagine Santa in line at Kmart like, God.
for years, I was so jealous of the Kmart cashiers because I thought they got to like meet Santa.
Sure.
And I was just like, oh man, when I'm in high school, I'm gonna get a job at
work
Kmart.
at Kmart.
And I'm gonna meet Santa. And I always pictured him like at night at Kmart. 'Cause
Yeah.
I have this very visual of my Kmart. At night because it's so rare that you're at Kmart at night and it's
Sure.
always a little quieter at night and empty and like I would just picture him like with like the the windows in the back are dark, it's dark outside and
Yeah.
him just coming up and there's like no line and he's just chit-chatting with the cashier.
Oh, hello, Karen. A lot of Mighty Maxes were requested this year.
It's a good way to tell kids like that's how it works.
I found out, I guess apparently I found out late. I was like 10 when I
Yeah.
found out there was no Santa Claus. And I think that was a big part of it was that my mom had a very elaborate
Yeah,
excuse.
I don't actually remember when I found out there was no Santa Claus. Spoilers for life, by
yes.
the way, children. There is no Santa Claus.
Please, that's too late.
The first
Yeah,
time
sorry,
I
it's too
found
late.
out was actually, I saw the Tooth Fairy, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Going into my brother's room and actually like putting the money underneath my brother's pillow when he lost a tooth.
Yeah.
And I told my mom, last night I saw the Tooth Fairy. And she goes, oh, you did? And I go, yeah. She had a mustache because my dad had this big mustache. And she was like, oh, yeah. Okay, well, the Tooth Fairy is not real. And I'm like, so what about the Easter Bunny? Yeah, that's not real.
Oh, no,
But
and
what
then
about Santa?
It all
And then
fell
it all
apart.
just fell apart.
So I had the same thing where I found out Santa was, again, I would, why are there price tags? And my mom would come up with the system. And one time my sister saw a price tag. She goes, why are there price tags? My mom goes, because, because he goes and buy them or whatever. And I forget, I'm telling the story wrong. But anyway, I just said, why are there price tags? Even though I knew full well that he goes to Kmart and buys stuff.
Of course, yeah.
But I was just being like a smartass. And my mom just turned to me and went, shh, because my sister was there.
Oh, okay.
And I was just like,
It's like,
wait,
oh.
I was just joking.
I've stumbled onto something. Oh, no,
Yeah,
no.
it was like Woodward and Bernstein in the,
Yeah,
in the
right.
parking garage, and so I found out that there was no Santa, and I was heartbroken. And then I want to say 6 months later, but with the way time passes, who knows?
Yeah.
I was in the car driving in the back seat of my mom's minivan, and it suddenly just hit me. I was going, Mom, there's no Santa. She's like, yeah. I was like, well, what about the Easter Bunny and the Tooth Fairy? Like, I just figured they all still exist, of course.
Right.
And she goes, no. And then it was the same thing with you, Billy. It's
Surely
like,
my mother isn't telling me a web of
yeah,
lies.
like, that was like the whole thing collapsed. Like first it was the crack, and then
Yeah. My wife, my mother-in-law did a pretty interesting thing where she told the kids, oh, we help Santa pay for the gifts, so you can't just ask for anything you want, which I kind of like, actually.
It's kind of like your seed and spark. It's just like, you have to to get the 80%.
Yeah, exactly. Get that.
Santa only contributes seed money, but he doesn't do it all.
My dad's like, I'll follow you. I'm not going to give any money, of course.
Everyone's parents have to go to Kmart with Santa at least once.
Yeah, I didn't see Santa actually contribute.
Yeah, really. Santa is just a drain on society.
If you're looking for toys, you guys are selling Karate Tortoise action figures.
Yeah, and
I was going to buy one, and I saw the price. I was like, maybe next year.
maybe Santa will bring you one.
If Santa was helping, maybe.
But yeah, we do have action figures, and that all came like the thought of these like 90s toys, that's what we're trying to like get with these incentives, is bring everyone back to that nostalgia 90s and 80s toy references. And that's what it all is, like slap bracelets too.
Oh, absolutely. I just thought of a 90s toy that was pretty quintessential weird 90s that will probably never come up as a topic, so I may as well bring it up now. Do you guys remember spin fighters?
No.
The name is familiar.
So the concept for spin fighters were you would have this like ring, like a big plastic circle basically. And there was this small like square. You'd take this token that was basically a top. You're basically playing tops, but it was like 90s extreme tops. You'd put this token in this like wind-up thing. Yeah, Jack brought up a picture of it with Doink the Clown for some reason.
The
Doink
picture
the Clown from WWF.
Oh, that's an actual...
Yeah. That's a professional wrestler named Doink the Clown.
Doink.
Oh, yeah.
Because when he hit people, it went doink.
Yeah. But you would you take these things and you'd put them in and wind them up and drop them, and they would like hit each other. It's like it really is just playing tops.
Well, I'll play
top that you spin.
I'll play a few seconds of this video, but
sure, we got the commercial right here.
Sounds like it's going to be more video, so we recommend our listeners
check out the 1994 Bandai Spin Fighters commercial on YouTube. But here it is.
Oh, Bandai! That's why there's all these Power Rangers videos being recommended.
Yeah. This is it. I remember this commercial very well.
It looks intense.
I still have that somewhere in my house.
That's kind of cool. So it's literally tops, but you have a contraption that does this.
Yeah, and you can get Shawn Michaels and Doink the Clown, which is amazing.
And you fight each other.
I want to go quickly back to Mighty Max.
Sure.
I'm assuming this is a topic, and we in the generator, and we'll go into more depth about the TV show and stuff.
Sure.
But if we're talking just specifically toys, so the idea is again that you can put in your pocket, and you can bring it. So if you're going to the doctor's office or whatever, you can play in the waiting room.
Right. Nowadays we have smartphones, but
but they started coming out with these big play sets that were like epic Mighty Max play sets, and it kind of defeated the purpose because now it no longer fits in your pocket.
Right.
But I had two. I had one was Magus. And it was literally a giant lava rock monster action figure. And by it was Mighty Max giant.
So what's giant? Like a normal action figure size, or
like a little bit bigger? I have small hands. It's a little bit bigger than my hand.
I don't remember these. These were still like sets that
folded
up into one thing,
still
right?
Opened up, and had some stuff in it.
But like the original Mighty Max were palm size. They literally fit in the palm of your
You
hand.
could almost put those on like a keychain.
Yeah.
The palm size.
And then I had another one which was a mountain, and this one was again. It was probably the size of this cannoli box. It was probably about a foot tall.
It was your standard issue cannoli box Mighty Max.
Exactly, yeah. It was about a foot tall, and it opened up, and it was an entire mountain layer, and it also came with like half a dozen action figures instead of the usual 2 or 3.
Sure, yeah.
It came with a Virgil, who was Mighty Max's owl mentor. It came with a Norman, who was his giant bodyguard, played, I think, by Brad Garrett.
Okay.
Everybody loves Max.
Was Mighty Max actually made from a cartoon?
No, the cartoon, I think, was
I think the
made
cartoon
to
came
sell
afterwards. Yeah.
Because that's what a lot of 90s like action figures, cartoons all came about. Like I know Ninja Turtles, the cartoon was made for basically the action figures. Like they were made at the same time, like concurrently.
They had made the comic series came first.
Right.
That was like the indie comic series. Then they acquired that.
The license.
I guess they acquired the license to make the toys, and they were like, we need a animated series to sell these toys, and that's exactly how it came around. Yeah. And that's how I think a lot of like G.I. Joe, Transformers absolutely followed that. I mean, they came first, so I guess Ninja Turtles followed them. But yeah, it was a big thing in the 80s and the 90s.
So, sorry, I got a little distracted here. I'm just gonna play this,
with the Mighty Max play
this
sets.
Mighty Max
Yeah.
playset.
Micro Machines too were also like very much on
That was big in the 90s. That was, I guess,
those
the
were
90s
big.
was the decade of Micro Machines.
Right.
Now, do you think
everything got small in the 90s?
the idea of little tiny cars sells itself? But do you think its popularity really was mostly to the?
Do you think that the guy who came up with Micro Machines walked into his boss's office and just said, "Tiny cars," and they were
Give
just
this
like,
man a raise.
"George, you're getting a promotion."
Or maybe it was like the guy at Hot Wheels that got fired, and he's
Yeah.
like, "That's okay. We're gonna make them smaller.
Even smaller than Hot Wheels. They're micro. I call them micro cars.
We're gonna have play sets upon play sets."
I'm surprised they never came out with nano machines.
Yeah.
Like you're just buying a box of invisible cars.
They have nano blocks
Yeah.
now. Like to compare with Legos, they have small, tiny Lego blocks.
You can't get much
You just
smaller
get-
tiny.
And you
Lego.
shouldn't really be giving kids things that tiny.
Yeah, really.
Small-
They-
how small do they have to get before they're
Kids
like
shove
yeah.
Legos up their nose already, and they're not that small.
Yeah, but do you think Micro Machines were as popular as they were because they had a very successful ad campaign with
Yes.
I forget his name.
John Machida Jr.
John Machida Jr., who talked really, really
Yes.
fast. I think he might have been the world's fastest talker.
I
at
don't
one point.
even
was.
remember that.
He would come on and be like, "Hey, it's for Micro Machines. You go
He was also in an episode of Saved by the Bell where
He
he,
was.
would do oral questions and they couldn't keep up with him, which is really sadistic.
Yeah, it
If
was.
you play the Micro Machine theme song right now, or whatever that you're gonna look up right now, I think it would just like bring me back, like to just
Well,
watching.
I'm not gonna, I don't know if
Nick
there is
Jr.
a micro. I think the Micro
Yeah.
Machine theme song was "Come on and get some Micro Machines, come on and get some Micro Machines."
Wow, that sounds oddly familiar.
But no, I want to play John. So John Machida was also doing FedEx. He was making bank.
yeah.
And I think he was earning it because I really think that his ad campaign was what made Micro Machines more popular for a while than Hot Wheels.
Yeah, can we click on his Wikipedia page real quick? We googled John Machida Jr.
Also known as Motormouth.
Yeah, was he?
What do you want to see?
He wasn't also the Scat Man, right? That was a different guy.
Scat Man?
Do you guys remember the
it's-
Scat Man?
From
Like
like the singer. He wasn't.
Well, he
the
was also Scatman John. I just realized like they both are Johns. Yeah. Oh yeah.
He was Blur in the Transformers.
Yes, that he was.
He had the ability to articulate 586 words per minute. Although his record
That's
was
incredible.
was
So-
shattered by Steve Woodmore, who did 637 in 1990, and Sean Shannon 655.
So did Micro Machines
Wow.
have to hire him in order to tell people that these are too small for children and not to eat
why,
them?
Why fast?
Pretty much.
What does fast talking have to? So he did FedEx. I get that FedEx. It's fast delivery.
Right.
What does fast talking have to do with small cars?
I guess because the commercial only had like a certain segment that they needed to fit all this like
Yeah,
warnings in.
kind of, and just being a kid and seeing those commercials, I remember just being like, "Holy shit, this guy's talking so fast! I have to like give this my full attention." And it was like, Micro Machines, yeah.
This is the Micro Machine Man, presenting the most miniature motorcade of Micro Machines. Each one has dramatic details, terrific trims, stupendous styling, precision paint jobs, working wheels. Micro Machine cars of vast variety, including Lamborghini, Trans Am, Corvette, 4x4 Blazer, pickup Charger, and many more. Micro Machine planes, polished, perfect precision, like F-15, Corsair, Space Shuttle, P-51, Mustang. Micro Machine boasts a fabulous fleet of Tugs PT.
like
That's
I
amazing.
think, I think it's a very inventive ad campaign.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the
absolutely.
three of us were just mesmerized, just like
You
staring
couldn't
at
even
this. Like I couldn't really tell you what he said, like something about Micro Machines are great, but you know, it
But
was
I
very
heard
something
something about
to listen to.
detail.
How fast do you think he could do 662 home improvement grunts?
I like one of those was Al
Yeah.
doing a grunt. I like
Yeah,
that.
his sounded a lot like mine.
Yeah,
But
really.
yeah, so I do want to play this Mighty Max commercial before we
Oh
move
yeah,
on.
okay, sure.
But yeah, the TV show I think we'll save for another episode.
Sure.
Oh yeah, but this play set. I guess it was the idea. It was just really funny that it came with a big playset. That would
Yeah.
be like Micro Machines coming out with a big car. It's like, yeah, right. Get the extra large Micro Machine.
Micro
Well, the big car would actually house like 1,000 Micro
Yeah,
Machines.
yeah. That, which I think they did.
I
Actually
think they
have.
did have that.
It's like
yeah,
probably a briefcase.
yeah. I think they had
I
that.
also had a lot of Micro Machine Star Wars toys in the 90s.
Sure.
I
Oh,
still
yeah.
have my Millennium Falcon actually right behind.
like you pointed right to me.
Pointed
I
right
am
at
not
that.
the Millennium Falcon.
No, it's on my windowsill
yeah, I've
because
seen that, yeah.
I don't know what to do with it. I don't want to throw it out.
Yeah, you can't throw that out.
So you put it on the
up on
windowsill.
eBay.
Yeah. I also had a lot of Micro Machine Power Ranger toys, which was also a lot of fun.
Oh.
It came with a extra rare Alpha 5, which was
Ay, ay, ay.
there's probably only like 1 million of them made.
Yeah, right.
All right, here's this Mighty Max commercial.
Mighty Max. Welcome
This
to
is the place that I
Skull
have.
Dungeon.
Skull Dungeon.
That's when I cried.
Oh yeah,
about.
there's the monster. That's pretty awesome.
Smasher, get up! Your brain donor.
That's not the Mighty Max I had.
We want brain. No way, slime face. Whoa!
Oh, and he wore
Watch
a
out
hat.
for that first step.
See, they
It's
make it look
over,
so
Mighty
cool.
Max.
I gotta tell you, that playset. I mean, I know it's a long time. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure I had completely different action figures. I had the Frankenstein, but the look of the Doctor and the look of Mighty Max, which I gotta say, this looks a little juvenile. I think
Okay,
mine was
you
a
should
little
write
bit
him a
more-
letter.
Yours was a little more professional and
a little
adult.
detailed, a little more.
Well, here's the thing about Mighty Max. Like, it didn't really do anything. Like, they were just, the figures had no articulation. Like, you couldn't move the arms or hands or anything. They're
Right.
little, like, statues, basically.
But I don't need that. I don't need articulation.
Right.
My imagination does most of the work.
But here's my question. Nowadays, do you think kids would play with something like Mighty Max? Like, now
way.
everyone's used to apps.
no, they play
And the
with
Angry
toys.
Birds.
You still
They
got
don't play
doll. You're still playing with
I don't know,
dolls
man.
and like stuffed animals.
But
Your
that's
stuffed animal
different.
No, I don't
Like, they'll
think they
play with
play
action
them.
figures that move. Like, this is not something that moves. Like, my cousin's son is 5 or 6. And, like, he just plays with, like, apps and things.
He doesn't play
Legos,
with, he doesn't
maybe.
play with any toys.
No, he does play with some toys, but I don't.
How old is he?
Like 5 or 6 or 7 or
Yeah,
8.
I can say for sure my nephew who's younger, he's 3. He plays with tons of toys. I mean, you give him a smartphone or a tablet, he'll dick around with it. But,
Right, so he'll take everything.
But yeah,
he'll take all
but
comers.
he prefers toys. He gets
Sure.
bored with the apps.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
He gets bored with apps.
I mean, he's a
Okay.
baby. He doesn't.
Have you seen the kid?
I mean, there's
the-
some good apps out there, Jack. Has he tried Wikipedia? Because he can read about anything on there.
He likes playing with cars. He likes his cars and his toy dog, which he named Jack.
Aw.
He also thinks I'm a bus driver because every time I go to visit him,
You come on the bus?
my sister drops me off at the bus stop, and his last sight of me is me getting on the bus.
That's
and
amazing.
He thinks I'm driving it.
That's amazing.
man.
Every time he sees a bus, he thinks I'm literally on it. So he's like, "There's Jack," and my sister's like, "What?"
It's like,
Have
yep.
you seen those videos of the kids looking at magazines and they look at a picture and they like try to make the picture
yeah.
larger
Yeah, I
with their
have.
fingers to try?
Well,
it's like it's an
because you're
crazy.
giving them a tablet years
Yeah.
before they can literally read. So
Yeah.
they always try to like swipe a book, and
It's
and
weird.
It's really a fascinating concept.
It very much is.
I'm trying to look at 2016 action figures. There's got to
Well-
be some that.
Yeah, but you're looking up
Here's-
statues and like very detailed like collectible
Exactly.
items.
And as someone who was just at Comic-Con literally today, most of these like high-end action figures are not for children. They are
Well, I'm
like
not looking
for
up high
they're for
end.
people like me who are big fucking
I
losers.
just googled action figures. I didn't Google. I know.
Well, I
there's,
know,
like,
I know. If you just Google action figures, that's the kind of thing that comes up because I feel like action figures now have become more like collectibles.
yeah, it's a collectible item.
as
now.
opposed to something you
I
play
don't
with.
have kids. I hope somebody gets to us who does. But I have to say that maybe if there's a slight reduction and there's more video game and app playing than when we were kids because there's more of that in our
Right.
lives.
Yeah.
I gotta believe that they're still playing with a lot of physical toys.
Like that Raphael is super detailed.
Yeah,
It's no more
that's pretty
detailed
good.
than ours. The ones we grew
I mean,
up
you
with.
can tell it's like a
It
sock
definitely is.
wrapped around his waist.
Yeah, that's got more.
I don't know.
sculpt
My
to it.
Vern had toilet paper on his foot. That was pretty
true.
detailed.
And the boss ate that sandwich. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's interesting how kids are evolving, I guess, with technology
You know what?
and,
Here's
and
what
toys
let me try
are moving.
This. Let's,
You go to ToysRUs.com.
or no, something. I want to
I
see
don't
if
know
I
if
can
Toys R
find
Us
a-
exists
I want
anymore.
to see them in action. I want to see what's a 2016
actually-
toy commercial. Let's try that. Let's search that.
All right, we're on YouTube looking 2016 toy commercial. Let's
Toys
see
R
what
Us is
comes
actually
up.
like
All right,
an
I'm gonna
antique
play,
store.
I'm going to play
right.
this 2016 toy commercial.
All right, here it comes.
It's beautiful. Yeah,
Yeah, it was beautiful.
So I think it's some kind of gorilla.
It's a talking gorilla.
All right, 2016 toy commercial. Here's a montage. Somebody went out of their way to make a montage of toys commercials.
Best toy commercials 2016.
Mr. Bucket.
Mr. Bucket.
Da Vinci.
Create your own
That's
3D designs
brilliant.
with Da Vinci. And now with the new color mixer, just pop, twist, and press.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I kinda want
like
that.
fancy Play-Doh, Da Vinci.
Yeah.
I love it.
Fancy Play-Doh. It almost looks like you're just learning how to work factory equipment, like to make more toys.
Well, why not? All right,
Interesting.
here's
Da
Thomas
Vinci,
the
I've
Tank
never heard of
Engine,
that.
still popular. Oh, it's a RC.
tracks, full steam ahead, whirring
All right.
wheels.
Well, look at that
Watch
Stretch
out for the big
Armstrong.
hill.
See, that's
Do they still have Stretch Armstrong?
2016.
This is 2016.
Super Stretch.
26. How many fucking videos of toys 2016?
Yeah, this is Best Toys compilation number 26.
All right, you guys kill the 6 seconds while I mute this ad.
All right,
All
so
right. Did you have a Stretch Armstrong?
I
left it-
had Vac-Man actually, who was his villain.
Really? I was always jealous of all my friends that had a Stretch Armstrong because I never had one.
Yeah.
I got one for Christmas, and I left it in the car when we went to my aunt's that morning, and it froze because it was Christmas. It was cold, and then it was broken forever. It
was broken?
Yeah, it never like defrosted right.
Stretch Armstrong, like he stretched, but then he would pull back.
Right.
Vac-Man, who I believe was his bad guy. I think they may have made a Stretch Armstrong show to kind of explain who these people are, because it was just a toy.
This is the third or fourth Vac-Man conversation we've had.
Is it really?
On 90s
I don't remember
Percentile,
ever talking about
We might
Vac-Man.
have talked about it on our Simpsons podcast
He
or
was-
our Batman commentary.
Maybe. He was a big red guy who was, stretchy like Stretch Armstrong, but he was filled with this, like, sand almost. And he had a hole in his head that you plugged this little vacuum accessory to, and you would stretch him. Excuse me, you'd pull all the air out of him and he would stay stretched. And so you could like do all sorts of weird like shapes with him. Uh-huh. It was interesting. I don't know if kids today would appreciate a Vac-Man.
I mean, I'm skimming through this commercial. It's lots of just like simple action figures and toys.
It's funny that your Stretch
Dolls.
Armstrong like broke because it froze. I never had that problem in Florida.
Yeah.
So it's like interesting that that's what would break
One
Stretch
of
Armstrong.
the pluses of
That's
living
why
in
they.
Florida.
That's why they. Was not
I
popular
thought
in
you were
Alaska.
gonna say that you left it in the car and it melted like silly putty or something like that.
Yeah.
That probably happened too. I had another one, like a mini Stretch Armstrong, and he got a hole in him, and like
Yeah.
this clear gel came out.
Right.
And I remember like tasting it, and it couldn't have been healthy.
getting very, very sick.
It could not have been healthy. Yeah, there
Yeah.
seems to be a lot of craft toys, like this Play-Doh stuff.
Yeah, and we're like going through the video and just seeing the kind of the thumbnails. A lot of them look like movie tie-ins. Like I saw Secret Life of Pets was in there.
Barbie's still
The perennial hit
Barbie's
Barbie.
What your pets do when you're
There's
not
Secret
in?
Life of Pets. I guess they had action
I don't
figures
know.
for
These
that.
commercials, I feel like they all need John Machina doing them.
They
Hey,
do.
you got your Secret Life of Pets, and you got your Barbie, and you got your.
That's a really good impression.
That
Thank
was
you.
really good.
Thank you.
Now do Tim Allen doing.
All right. Wait, dude, Tim Allen?
Yeah, Tim Allen doing
yeah.
the Micro Machines commercial.
Let's hear it.
Really fast.
Thank you, Billy. Thank you for stepping in. As
That was probably
as I literally
better than what Jack was
sputtered.
going to do.
Well, I was gonna say he should do. He'd add more power to the Micro Machines.
That's good. They should have that. I might
that
buy
should
a
be a
Micro
thing.
Machine as a collectible item as an adult.
Yeah.
But what other '90s toys can we think
Okay,
of?
so also I had on here Talk Boy.
Oh, absolutely.
Did you have a Talk Boy? You have a Talk Boy.
It is
Oh, here it is.
completely non-functional.
Oh my God, that's great.
Jack,
you know,
Jack
they
has
go
a
for
Talk
like-
Boy right here in
I
Wii
keep
Studios.
it. I keep it because it has that '80s aesthetic I
They-
love so much. But
They go for like $40 right now in like
Really?
broken state right now.
Oh,
So,
man.
yeah.
maybe I should sell it.
We're sitting on butler money here.
I need that $40.
I think I have
yeah.
mine at home too.
This is
this?
great. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I haven't held one actually in like a decade probably.
So if your listeners, you don't know what Talkboy was, Talkboy was a handheld tape recorder. Remember tapes? Those were a thing in the 90s.
a cassette tape?
But they were specifically Kevin McAllister used it in Home Alone, and I don't think it was a real thing until Home Alone came out, and then they made them.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Basically, they needed some kind of cheat for him to do a lot of his stunts in Home Alone 2.
Right.
Basically, they needed a tape recorder that actually would output in slow mo.
Yeah.
Right.
So
That was the big thing of Talkboy. You could slow down.
Yeah.
Hi kids, I'm home early.
And that was the commercial, which I loved.
You're being an adult, but if you play your voice back in slow mo, you're being
Look
an
how
adult.
cumbersome this is. It like takes up my whole hand. Like if I wanted to record
Yeah.
somebody,
Yeah.
it'd be like, what are you doing right now?
It's just like,
no, I just want to try to record.
I'm just holding my Talkboy.
So I'm a big Home Alone fan. I think I prefer Home Alone 2 more, even though I recognize Home Alone's the better movie.
Right. By the way, if you want to hear us talk about Home
Yeah.
Alone 2, we've done a sync points. Go to WePodcast.com.
Yeah,
check it out.
you can buy for $2. You can buy. Me and Dan actually sat through all of Home Alone 2 and did a live commentary.
Yes, I believe we talked extensively about Talkboy
so
commercial.
I'm a huge Home Alone fan. I'm a huge Talkboy fan. I guess this was presaging my broadcasting career, which
Sure,
I
yeah.
didn't know I was going to do until 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Which is also funny because we'll tell the story another time. Remember that aptitude test we took in high school and it had really weird choices
Yes,
for jobs?
I do.
I got radio DJ. And I,
Really?
everybody got, most people
even
got
remember what I got.
bookmobile driver. I got magician and radio broadcaster.
I do not remember
Yeah.
you getting magician.
Yeah, I was just like, what kind of test is this?
What, Why did we spend time on a test like
I
this?
don't know. I remember most people got.
Bookmobile
I remember
driver.
most people got bookmobile
How many
driver.
bookmobile drivers does the nation
We need a
need?
fleet of bookmobiles.
Do you know any magic tricks?
I used to have magic kits. And I used to do card tricks and stuff. To this day I only remember one card trick.
Real quick sidebar. Speaking of 90s toys, do you guys remember? I can't. Magic Works was what they were called. They were like single-serving magic tricks that were sold. They were
Yes.
super popular.
That's what I was talking.
It was like
That's what I
a hit,
had.
Those
right?
were amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd get them like at the checkout counter of like
Yeah.
the toy store or whatever. Oh, those were
Yeah,
cool.
those were very. I was very big into
Magic
kits.
Works. I was
even
so
though
into those.
I'm not coordinated. I'm bad with my. I have
Yeah.
no good. I'm not good with my hands.
No, you're not.
I'm slight on my sleight of hand.
My parents bought me one time at Toys R Us, right? And we're driving home after
Yeah.
the purchase, and I'm learning how to do the trick, and it was like making a mummy disappear in some sort of like contraption.
I remember that one.
And as I'm doing it, I lose the piece, and we were driving in a Jeep Wrangler, so there's like holes on the bottom of the Jeep.
Oh, no.
And I lost the piece down, and it was gone. Like the trick never worked again. And I was like, what was the point of that?
That's a bummer, man. The magic is you spent $10 on something that is now junk.
Yeah, no, I was never good at it. And also,
Yeah.
I have a book of card tricks. I always wanted to go and reread it, but I haven't had time.
Yeah.
And most of them involve shuffling, which I couldn't
Yeah.
do until about 5 years ago. So those were
Yeah.
out.
Did you ever have the trick deck where it made the whole deck that one card? Like you have them stop on the King of Clubs, and then you fan through the deck, and it's all King of Clubs. Did you ever have
No,
that?
I don't
I
think
had one of
so.
those trick decks, and like people would be
Oh.
like, "Let me see that trick again." I'd be like, "No, I can't."
No.
do
I
it."
definitely had
I can only do it
I
once.
definitely had
Only do it
I had a trick card set where some of them were funky designs for you
Yeah.
to do stuff like that, and it also, if you put it in the case, it had a trap door so you could make cards disappear. If you flip the case around, you have a different card on the other
Right.
side.
Yeah.
Back to the Talk Boy. So I was a big Talk Boy fan. I literally had 5, maybe 6 Talk Boys. I think I had
Really?
I think I had every version. So I had.
I didn't know there were other versions.
So
I remember there was
Yeah,
a girl one.
Yeah, so
I
had
know
the
two.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm counting the ones my sister had because I was using. So there was Talk Girl, same thing, but pink and
Talk Girl,
purple.
yes.
But there was also Talk Boy Mini, which was like this little rectangle with a fake microphone on it, and it was basically like one of those which was popular in the
a
late
yak
90s.
pack?
The like the yak
Yeah.
pack.
Oh, yeah.
It was
Oh, I had a yak pack,
like-
too.
or they would sell them on keychains for you to remember where you were parking,
you
like
think-
a little digital recorder.
Right.
Do you think the CIA and the NSA were like, let's get kids hooked on recording, so then when we're recording everybody, they won't care. They'll be like, oh, it's just like Yak Back. Right?
And Edward Snowden was actually
Yeah.
gonna break that, and he was like, "This is too big. Let me just stick to the
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
cell phone tapping."
Absolutely.
So you had the Talk Boy Deluxe then?
Was there a Talk Boy Deluxe?
That was a
that's the
giant
one that
Talk Boy.
That's the one that actually slowed down because in this one you don't have that slow down
Yeah,
feature.
right there.
Really?
It says where it says
Yeah,
slow.
Yeah.
So,
and you could record on slow,
the
and then it
orig-
would play back fast.
Yeah.
I thought the original one
There's
you
a
weren't
hack.
allowed to do it because for some reason I guess my Talk Boy didn't slow down.
Oh,
and I was like,
really?
what's the point of that? Because that was the whole point of the movie.
Maybe it was
Yeah.
like a Talk Boy version 2, like what
Yeah.
Apple does.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
This is the Talk Boy 6S.
The Talk Boy Nano,
It has no headphone jack.
the Talk
Yeah.
Boy Watch.
But the Talk Boy Mini, which I guess did precede the iPod Mini,
Yeah.
it also had sound effect buttons. It had 3 random sound effects you could do,
Right,
which
right.
this Talk Boy didn't
Like
have.
fart noise.
So I had the Talk Boy
Machine
So I had
gun.
the Talk Boy Mini. I also had the Talk Girl Mini, or my sister did. So
Sure.
that's 4. And then I had the Talk Boy Pen.
Oh, I do
Oh,
remember
yeah.
that
So
one.
this
Yeah,
was
yeah.
a real working pen. It was huge, and it also
Yeah.
had a microphone and some sound effect buttons and some basic.
I do remember
recording
that.
equipment.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I had the whole kit. I was a
You
Talk
had the Talk
man.
family.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you had a whole Talk family.
family,
I had the Talk Boy, and again, presaging what we're doing literally right now, I would do radio shows. I would like record myself just doing a show, and like I don't even know what I was talking about on the show. Just
My
it was
brother-
it was literally just me talking to myself.
My brother and I would just con people into giving us free hotel rooms at the plaza. That's all we would do.
Yeah,
I've got my credit card. No problem.
You got it.
That's right.
yeah, nice.
Anyway, I was going to do a joke about how I would have like stickers on the back of my window with all of my Talk Boys.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the families do.
Absolutely.
Let's play this commercial. So this is only 32 seconds long. There is a Talk Boy extended commercial on YouTube.
Oh, man.
Apparently they had a 2.5 minute long Talk Boy commercial.
That's pretty amazing.
But let's check out this briefer one.
Sure,
You can have lots of high-tech
It's a kid
fun
that
with
looks like
Tiger's
Macaulay
Talk Boy
Culkin.
tape recorder.
but is legally distinct from Colin
Stop drooling on me. Hey, stop drooling on me.
I love that his recordings are like
It even
perfect quality, so that someone else thinks that it's another
and
person
he's
talking.
recording it from a room,
Yeah.
like across the
from a
room.
significant distance.
So it really should have been more like, Hey, stop fooling us.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh man.
But yeah, the idea was tying into Home Alone. It wasn't just a tape recorder; it was for pranks.
Yeah.
So yeah, you would record things out of context and then replay them.
I just really quickly want to point out the on this YouTube video, we're just looking at Talkboy commercial uploaded by AV Summer Girl. The description is, yes, this is the tape recorder from Home Alone 2, and yes, I am aware that many people have owned one of these. I have too.
Just showing off.
Why?
It's just a humble brag.
Why are you saying I am aware many people owned one of these? That's an odd thing to point out.
Control.
Hi, kids. We're home early.
Hi, kids. We're home early.
Dad, Mom.
That little. Why do you not sound like you? That like moment is the 90s in a nutshell,
Yeah.
right there. That hi kids were home early, like that.
And
is
he's
the
playing
90s.
it because his older sister is making out with her boyfriend. He's trying
Who's
to...
wearing a tie and looks like he's ready to go to work?
He's on a date.
Which is odd. I don't remember ever wearing a tie and being on a date.
But you weren't that old in the 90s.
That's true.
I wore ties.
Tiger's Talkboy tape recorder comes with audio cassette. Batteries not included.
Oh, it's from Tiger, which we should probably bring this up. We're running out of time, and I'm sure this is its own topic. But very briefly, I had a lot of Tiger handheld electronic video games.
Yeah.
That was one of my bigger toys.
Yeah.
I guess we're just going to leave out action figures. That topic's just too
That's
big.
a whole something
But
else.
the Tiger handhelds were literally handheld video games, like a Game Boy that was just one game. And
Right.
It was a very, very, very basic game.
Like Tetris. Or
yeah,
something
well,
like that.
not even
Not
because
even,
it
it
had
would be
only
like-
like 3 or 4 animations in the entire game.
Yeah, there wasn't that much you could even do. Like, I remember I had a Sonic the Hedgehog Tiger
Yeah.
game. There's only so many parts of the screen that lit up.
Yeah,
like, it
exactly.
wasn't
Yeah.
a video screen. It was just
So
like,
I had
a watch screen.
Yeah, so I
kind
had
of
like
thing.
X-Men and like
Yeah.
or it was I think it was called X-Men, but you only play as Wolverine.
Right.
And it was like you could light up as Wolverine, or you could light up as like Wolverine's arm would be raised up, or his claws would be out. And it was basically those 3 animations, and then you just dodge things and punch things.
I
and-
just
Yeah,
totally
yeah.
understood what you were talking about. Like, I just
Oh, you-
totally
yeah, you-
forgot
you-
about
you
that.
were out of
Yeah.
it,
Yeah. Because I was thinking about the handheld ones where like the pixels are like all like put together to make a shape. But no,
Exactly,
I know
yeah,
what you're
no,
talking about.
Yeah.
now.
And I was spoiled, though, because the very first one I ever got was miniature golf Tiger. And that was actually one of the best uses for Tiger Electronics because it could use those very limited graphics in multitude of ways. Basically, you could just hit this dot across the screen through
Right.
these different dog legs.
Yeah.
But the other ones were shit. I also had Full House. We also had like Full House. I had a Full House one where you play as Michelle running down the hall and dodging
Right.
things. Couple. Yeah, no, Tiger Electronics. Oh, also, R-Zone. I had an R-Zone, which was Tiger Electronics, but
we may have talked about this
Yeah.
in our Home Alone 2 sync
Oh,
points.
really?
Maybe it's just you and me personally have
Yeah.
talked about this. I can't remember where the podcast ends and I begin
all it
anymore.
did was play Tiger games, but in your eye, like over an eyepiece,
I don't
in
remember
red
that.
instead of in black.
Yeah.
So it looked like it was virtual
Like
reality,
virtual
but you were basically
reality?
just playing a video game very up close to your face.
It's
Which
funny-
is really
very
what virtual
virtual.
reality is. It's just
It's funny that they say also gigapets on here for the Tiger Electronics. We
Well,
have those.
I didn't have
Gigapets.
Gigapets. The name rings a bell, but
Yeah.
we were not a Gigapet family. Were you?
I mean, I had 1 or 2, but not really. I'm not really that big into the gigapets.
Yeah. I saw it. We googled Tiger handheld, and I saw 2XL came up. That's a '90s toy I remember. Do you guys remember 2XL?
No.
It was this little robot tape player that you would do like games with, and it would come on and it would say, "I am 2XL."
Oh,
it was
that
just
does sound familiar.
Yeah, Google, I bet if you Google the picture, it'll ring a bell or two. But I never had it, but my cousin had one, and I used to always want to play with 2XL.
One of my favorite ones was Quiz Whiz. Remember Quiz Whiz?
What the?
What is that?
Okay,
2XL?
that's
Is that
not
it?
it. This looks like 2XL from the 70s.
Well, I had a robot
I'm talking
like
about that one. That one on the right.
I
That looks
did it.
more like a cool ass robot.
Oh, that's cool.
This one?
Yeah.
Oh, I do remember him. He looks like Screech's robot.
Yeah, he looks a lot like Kevin, Screech's robot. A little bit like.
What is
Hey
this?
YouTube, it's Katie here with Xavier.
Sorry.
Oh, thanks, Katie.
What would this guy do?
He literally just played
Tape
tapes. Like
player.
the
Oh.
arms were just for show.
Oh, okay.
They don't do anything. He just lights up and plays a tape, and you could hit like a button to answer a question. It was kind of like a Teddy
Like
Ruxpin,
Siri?
but yeah, kind of.
Or like an 8-ball?
No, it would do
magic
like
8-ball.
trivia. Like you could get like a biology tape and listen to it on 2XL, and it would be like, what part of the body is your blood? That's not a good question. That wasn't one of them.
I had a Quiz Whiz, which was a handheld game. You had to be a Quiz Whiz to be a wise guy.
Yeah.
And it
Oh,
had,
shit, I remember that.
And it had a keypad.
Yeah.
And a yes or no buttons. And what you do is you'd buy cartridges. So it came with general knowledge, but I would buy, say, sports trivia.
Yeah.
And you put that in, and it comes with a workbook, I think. And you would type in whatever, and you open the book and you read the questions. It's in print because the computer can't really handle that.
Yeah.
And then you would type in the answers, and you would get points.
I like it.
Yeah, it was that I got a lot of mileage out of that game. What else? What else is on your list, Billy?
What else is on my list? I have creepy crawlers. Did you guys have creepy
Creepy
crawlers?
I definitely had creepy crawlers.
That was one of my favorites.
That was awesome. You would fill the monster mold with the colored plastic
Right.
goop, and then you'd make a creepy monster from a monster soup.
It was like the
Creepy
boy.
crawlers.
It
Yeah.
was like the boy version of like Easy Bake Oven.
It was, but you couldn't eat them.
Right.
Or
Wait,
I mean,
did you
wasn't
play
there
with
one
them?
could.
Wasn't there one you could eat?
There was one you
Yes,
could eat. It
there
was
were edible ones.
Doctor something or other. Oh shit, Doctor Dreadful. That's what it was. I always wanted that, and I never.
familiar at
Yeah,
all.
I think they actually still make Dr. Dreadful.
Oh yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
that was
Look
it.
at that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you would make these like gross gummy zombie
Right, like
candies.
zombie brains you could eat.
Oh, it came. This is the video. This isn't a commercial. Apparently, it came
This
with
is
a
the
VHS.
video, yeah.
Oh, really?
Explaining how to use it.
I think
Zombie
this might be
Barf
like
Experiment.
Zombie Barf Experiment sounds like a band.
it does.
Ever seen a zombie barf? Well, get ready. Start by filling the cup with water.
Yeah, and then you would eat the barf.
You're,
and,
you're basically making candy.
it's brilliant.
But creepy crawlers, you would just make. I still have some creepy crawlers that I made when I was a
Really?
kid. Yeah, yeah.
That's great.
You would just make this colorful goop, kind of
Right.
like that Da Vinci we were looking at earlier,
And
you would
bake
just
it.
like bake it. Yeah, and you'd get this like little plastic bug.
They should.
They're cool.
I think creepy crawlers should have gone more for a high end, like Da Vinci. Like they should have had like
Yeah.
like Poe, something with Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah, right.
Podo. I don't know.
Or maybe they
Podo?
should come out with one that's very detailed and make like a super detailed
Yeah.
figure.
You
like,
make the Last Supper.
yeah.
yeah. I like
That's
that.
what kids want. They want to make
Last Supper of
I want
creepy
to
crawlers.
recreate the Last Supper in Play-Doh.
the Da Vinci Code playset.
That's right. You can play as Tom Hanks in the hit Ron Howard film.
Hi, kids. So dark the suit of man.
I hate the Da Vinci Code so much.
The third
the
one's
book
coming
and
out.
the movie. It looks like garbage.
The second one, Angels and Demons. I haven't read the books. I have no interest. But
I read the first. I read the Da Vinci
I saw
Code.
the movies, and Ewan McGregor plays a young American Pope in Angels and Demons, which is a cool idea. And apparently, I just saw a trailer for the first time. I haven't even heard about this. HBO has a show coming out with Jude Law called The Young Pope, and it looks amazing. Like he's like playing this like I don't know if he's evil or what, but he's just like this young Pope, and he's just doing shit, and he's
like the Pope, like the head of the Catholic Church.
Pope, yeah, and like
speaks to God.
And there's like lightning, and there's conspiracies, and there's who plays the evil nun? Like his his arch
There's an
nemesis.
evil nun?
It's a
Wow.
famous actress. I can't think. Anyway, it looks amazing. It's
Wow.
called the Young Pope, starring Jude Law. I
I
never even heard of this, and then suddenly it just came out of nowhere.
well, I can't wait for the toys and play sets to come out that are tying into the young Pope because I will buy them.
There'll be statues.
They'll
and,
be
like,
amazing.
Pope
figurines.
dough.
Yeah, Pope dough.
Make the Vatican out of Play-Doh. I was by the way, we have literally less than 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I did have Play-Doh sets, and I had a Pizza Hut Play-Doh set. I had a Ghostbusters Play-Doh set. I was
Do you have a
big on-
turtle Play-Doh set?
No,
I had that one.
I had
Yeah, you make turtles.
Ghostbusters. Maybe I had turtles too, but the Ghostbusters one was awesome. I remember it had like a plastic Ecto 1.
Yeah,
that you could
that's
like
awesome.
build.
Car,
You
yeah.
could build like things to put on it.
Exactly.
I made it out of Play-Doh.
I have a
It's good
Pizza Hut
time.
story I have to tell another time because that is the of our show.
Out of time here on 90s Percentile. All right. Good one. I think we had a good ep here, right, guys?
Might not have been exactly an hour,
guys.
but
The time may have gotten messed up, so we may have gone a little long.
May have played one or too many YouTube videos.
You know,
Screwed up our timer.
It happens. It happens.
That
But
was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. So thanks so much, Billy, for being
Yeah.
here. I'm going to turn to you, though.
Okay.
This is the quiz portion that I mentioned to you.
You
Here
got to
we
be a
go.
quiz whiz to be a wise
This
guy.
is when I
True.
start to
That's
get
very
really
true.
nervous.
I'm going to ask you, Billy, as our guest here today, what have you learned today?
What have I learned? I learned that there's a show coming out about the Pope starring
Yeah,
Jude
really?
Law. Like,
I had no idea.
no idea about
no
that.
clue.
This show is 90s Percentile is actually sponsored by HBO. It's
True. Watch Westworld.
which is really good.
It
by
is
the way.
really good.
That's
I
where
really
I saw
like
the Young
Westworld.
Pope. I saw it before
Oh, really?
I
I
watched episode 2 of Westworld.
Wait, episode 2 is out?
Yeah, they started streaming it on Friday, 3 days before it.
Oh, really? Damn it! I could have watched it before. Right now.
That's
All
why
right.
I watched it, because
Right.
it's too late on a Sunday night. I can't stay up to 10 p.m.
Well, I just learned that I could have watched Westworld episode 2 before today, but let me pick one from the actual episode. I learned that there's a toy called Da Vinci, which apparently you can create factory things in your home. I don't want
that would be
to.
another good Play-Doh set, like an Andy Warhol factory.
Oh, don't give it away right now. Yeah.
I should keep these ideas.
All right, Billy's an expert now on crowdfunding. We're going to crowdfund the Play-Doh Andy Warhol factory.
If Gilbert Godfrey can't do it, I think we should get John Machida Jr.
Done. Perfect.
Absolutely.
And you got your Play-Doh and you got I forget what the whole joke we were just doing. What was it?
We got Andy Warhol's factory.
Yeah, well, that's what I learned. I'm going to let Tim Allen say what I learned today.
Okay.
That's what I learned that I can't do. Everybody can do a good Tim Allen, but me. That's what I learned.
Very good. All right. So thanks again, Billy, for being here. And if last couple of days, if people want to contribute to Karate Tortoise, where can they go?
They can go to seedandspark.com and check out Karate Tortoise, or just go to karatetortoise.com. A link will take you right to our site.
Awesome. Very cool. And is there anything else you want to plug? I mean, Karate Tortoise is probably
As of
taking
right
up your
now,
entire life at this
Karate
moment.
Tortoise is what I want everyone to talk about.
Very cool.
And you guys are going to keep doing Tortoise Talk Live
Yes.
even after the campaign's over.
Right. Tortoise
that's
Talk
awesome.
Live just kind of developed over the course of this campaign because we wanted to do something every day to keep it like familiar in people's minds,
Sure.
which we actually did get a little following and loyal fan base from it. So we're going to continue that through production. We're going to do that 2 nights a week to show like basically the progression of what happens now after we've got the funding. And
Yeah.
then
What next?
Yeah, what happens now?
That's really cool. That's
Yeah.
a great idea.
Yeah,
And,
so check that out. It's on your Facebook page for the Spook
The
Tortoise.
Spook Tortoise, yes. Thank
Cool.
you.
Very cool. And if you want to follow this show, you want more episodes of this show, you should go to weepodcast.com. That's weepodcast.com. And you can also submit 90s topics there. We didn't get to any listener topics today, but the next episode maybe we will. We have hundreds to get through, so please add more, but, it takes a while. And you can get all our old episodes there, and while you're there, you can click through our Amazon links to help keep the show free, or you go to amazon.wepodcast.com. It'll take you right to Amazon, and then you buy whatever the hell you want. We get a small cut.
Yeah, and if you want to follow us personally, I'm at Jackie No Breaks.
And I'm at Then Dan Says. This show's at 90s Percentile. Our general kind of overall banner is at We Studios Pod.
Yeah, I would follow that more than 90s Percentile. That's where we're going to
At 90s Percentile, shit, now.
That's what we're going to do most of our primary announcements through the We Studios Pod. It's very annoying logging out of one account and logging back into another.
It's tough. It's a tough life that we have.
It is. And if you want to help us out and you don't want to give us any money, you gave all your money to the Spook Tortoise and Karate Tortoise already, that's fine. Leave us an iTunes review. That's just the word of mouth. Tell friends.
Yeah,
Grab
tell your
a
friends.
stranger on the street and just go, you listen to We Studios.
90s Percentile! Have you heard this show?
In that accent. You have to do it like that.
Please, you need to listen to them. Strangers love it when you
Just
do
run
that.
around like Charlton Heston at the end of Soylent Green.
90s Percentile is people. 2 people named Dan and Jack, and please support them.
They're talking about everything 90s.
And also before and after.
Please do it that way, and only that way.
Only that way. But if you do want to do an iTunes review, you could do a 5-star review, please. You can use some 90s slang, and your review might get read on the show, like this review that Billy is about to read for us.
This podcast is totally da bomb.
All caps.
I listened to it on my Discman on the way to laser tag in my Jinkos. So put down on your super scope and download it now. Believe me, it's cool beans.
Thank you. That was awesome, Billy. So yeah,
Thank you.
we like. We'll read any review you leave, but we like it when you use 90s slang. That was great
Yeah,
because
that was-
it really felt like a period piece for a review.
It did, absolutely.
It makes me think maybe one day we should try to do a 90s Percentile podcast, like in period, maybe recorded on a Talkboy. We'd have to get one that works.
Oh, man.
But literally,
I
like,
may have a working talk boy back at my
if we
my
can
parents'
find
house.
some old 90s TV to put on in the background, and we will go back in time and record a 90s Percentile podcast from the 90s.
Maybe that's something we'll do. But we're not going to do it now, guys. We are going to close up shop here today. Billy, thanks again so much for being our guest. We really appreciate it. And
Thanks.
we want all of our listeners to support Karate Tortoise, if we haven't said it enough.
Thank you
Karate
guys for
Tortoise.
having me. I mean, you guys have been such a super supporter for us, and I really appreciate that.
Of course.
Oh,
we're
yeah,
happy to do it. And we cannot wait to see the finished product now that we know for sure it's
We're
all happening.
assuming the very first title will be Jack Bacone and Dan Mulhall present Karate Tortoise.
Absolutely. I thought that was understood. That was part of the reason that you were brought here.
That's what the wink was.
Yeah.
It was a wink deal.
It was a wink deal, one of those classic winkers. Okay, guys, that's going to be it for this episode. My name is Dan.
My name is Jack, and we'll see you in another decade.